Hey, welcome into another episode of the Ducks Postgame Show on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network, but it is the Sports Network because we're taking over and we're mixing in some hockey as the Ducks get their 7th win in a row. Lucky number 7. Oh my God, is this the hottest Ducks team have you seen in such a long time since the 2015 season when they won 16 straight games? But for right now, or 11 straight, I should say, right now the Ducks are right there, getting close to that 11 straight, which would be a franchise record. But 7 straight, 14 straight points, 5 points now to lead the Pacific Division and almost all of hockey as they trail only I think the Colorado Avalanche for points, or they might have tied them tonight. So this team, again, who played a back-to-back? Was it the Ducks or was it Winnipeg? Because to me, the way that they played tonight, it looked like the Winnipeg Jets were fresh off a back-to-back and they were playing us, because we did not play like a team that just came off a back-to-back against a very, very difficult Las Vegas Golden Knights. No, the Ducks played like they had a couple nights off and they were well rested. And Coach Q had these boys ready to go. Winnipeg, on the other hand, was playing with 2 days rest. They came in here on a West Coast trip with plenty of rest before they took on the Ducks. But the Ducks said, I don't think so. And they took care of home. And boy, did they take care of home. And again, they made it look really easy tonight. There wasn't that many shots. The last like 10 or, actually the last 10, basically the entire season so far, the Ducks have had about in the high 20s to 30 shots per game. And the opponent's been around the same. Either the Ducks edge them by 6 or 7 shots, or it's the vice versa. But for most of the time this season, I think this is only the 4th game they've been outshot. However, the shots for each team was completely different because the Ducks had only 21 shots tonight and the Winnipeg Jets had 24. So there wasn't that many shots on goal, but what there was a lot of tonight was and by the way, we'll get into all the comments tonight. We'll read your comments. I'll go through them. I just got to get through this opening monologue, but just to say, hey man, I hope you appreciated this team right now. They are playing great. They're exciting. Get out to the Honda Center. Go on 714 Tickets, which is our partner for tickets and purchasing. Stay local, buy local. But if you need to travel, you can also buy those tickets out of city, out of town, out of state, just by going on 714tickets.com. It's free. Go to the apply now code, put HITI, which stands for Halos in the Infield, and you get 10% off of prices that are already stabilized because you don't have the taxes or the fees or the extra service charges that SeatGeek and Ticketmaster and all the other ones like to charge you. They like to say, oh, $24 a ticket. You're like, hey, that's a great deal. And then when you head to checkout, it's $49.50. Not with 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get. So with all that said, the Ducks won again against a good quality hockey team. And it started off by the 19-year-old kid again, Beckett Senecki, with his 5th goal already for the Ducks, courtesy of Cutter Gauthier and Drew Hellison. Gauthier's 9th and Gautier's 6th already assist on the season. And the Ducks got off to a good 1-0 lead just 7 minutes into the game. And then Leo Carlson is my homeboy that comes on here, and he's my tag team partner. And he says, hey, it's not Leo Carlson, it's Uncle Leo. Leo Carlson on the power play scored a goal to make it 2-0 for my boy, my unsung hero. His unsung hero is Carlson because, hey, nobody's balling as good as Carlson is right now. But Troy Terry, dude, I can't get enough of how good Troy Terry's kind of like back down his scoring and just became a great passer and an assist leader. And it's a guy who's just beautiful behind the back passes, and just it looks like no look passes. He's looking to the right, boom, to the he sticks it to the left. These guys are playing out of their mind right now. Carlson scored a nice goal on the power play from Terry and Kreider. Kreider gets his 2nd assist. Terry already has 14, And bada bing, bada boom, just a minute left in the first period. It's already 2-0. But Kyle Connor has to get the Winnipeg Jets some sort of respect. So 4:22 into the second period from assists from John Morrissey and Schaefer, it made it his ninth goal in the year. Kyle Connor made it 2-1. Wasn't a bad goal. Ducks kind of lapsed on defense there for a second. It cost them, but it's okay because a young kid comes back, gets very physical by the net, and was able to get a goal off a ricochet. Assist from Gutierrez, and McTavish. Gautier's ninth, McTavish's eighth. Senecki now has his second goal of the night and his sixth of the season. And then if you were thinking at all that they might do something like they did last night against the Golden Knights, have a 3-1 lead, maybe blow it, give it right back to the freaking not the Golden Knights, but the Winnipeg Jets, maybe go into overtime and it'd be like the same old Ducks. We were thinking that last night, but the Ducks pulled it out in overtime. And this one, a little bit different. They didn't allow that to happen because most times, I'd say about 80 to 90% in the NHL, if you go up 3 goals, that's pretty much it. I don't care if that's in the first period. I don't care if it's in the second period, if it's in the third period. You go up 3 goals on any team, usually that's lights, camera, or that's good night, or good morning, good night. Or see, I'm thinking of too many things at once, and I'm blowing these analogies. Let me start over. Usually, when a team's up 3 goals, see, I'm excited too. When they're up 3 goals, it's good morning, good afternoon, good night. See, that's it was a tongue twister. Sorry. But that goal by Leo Carlson to start off the third period, that was it. It's lights out, baby. Time to go to sleep. 4-1. Second player on the night. Beckett had the first 2 goals of the night, or not first 2 goals, but he had 2 goals coming in to lead the team. Carlson's like, I want that second goal myself. He got greedy, got his 10th goal of the season. That 2 was on the power play. That 2 was an assist from Kreider, and this time from Lacombe. They're third and sixth, but Carlson's 10th. And by golly, that was it. 7th straight goal. Team stats tonight. Again, shots on goal, 24-21 for the Winnipeg Jets. Face-off percentage what did favor the Jets. But I'll tell you my takeaways in this game. I'll tell you why I feel so good about this game and how they played as a whole. Is you've seen so many good Duck players. So many of these players, when the Winnipeg Jets were trying to get into the blue zone and get past the blue line, I should say, get into the Ducks scoring zone. The Ducks were poking at pucks, getting aggressive, not allowing these players to set plays behind our goalie like they had in years past. There's not this open area of ice because the Ducks take it away. They're constantly trying to also do 2 things at once: hit the player against the wall, against the glass, and also interrupt their pass, deflect it, poke check at it. I mean, that has been the biggest turnaround for me outside of the stupid penalties not being a part of the game. They've just been playing so good on both sides of the offense or defense on the puck, because defensively they're really making it difficult for teams to get rushes in their zone. They collapse on the player that initially crosses the blue line. Now, sometimes that leaves players open, and the right kind of pass can lead to an open one-on-one with our goalie. But more times than not, the Ducks have prevented that, poked it out, and having the team to at least, at worst, at best, you get a rush back and you turn the possession over. At worst, you force Winnipeg to start the puck over, start the play over, and go by the middle of ice, and then try to get the rush back in. So anytime you can disturb the opponent that much and not make it easy for them to try to set up a play in your zone, that's even better. And I think that's helped the Ducks. It's also helped the Ducks that they're not allowing players to make all kinds of traffic in front of Dostal or Mrazek. They're helping them out a lot more on the defense, and their puck awareness is through the roof so far through the season. So to watch how the Ducks are playing this year is truly a sight to see. It's really good to watch on television, even better in person. So again, I'm going to imply, get out there while this team is red hot. We got some good teams on the horizon. We've gone over that the last couple nights. But to get 7 wins in a row, to be this caliente already into the season, again, it's a long way to go. Like Roger Lodge likes to say, there's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight. There's a lot of hockey left to be played, and the season will start on our next game, because it's great that we're off to this hot start. You want to keep going, you want to keep playing, but they're going to need that day or two of rest before we get back at it. But the main thing is keep practicing what you preach. Q is preaching, and they're practicing it, and they're putting it into law. They're playing very, very, very good hockey. They're going to make some mistakes every now and then, but we've seen it in this win streak. We've seen it so far throughout all the hockey games. When they get off to bad starts, they don't look phased. They look like, okay, we got a little issue. We had a little problems. We figured out what we're doing wrong. Let's adjust and let's move forward. And it's really nice to see, because again, you know, most Ducks fans are Angels fans, and you don't see the adjustments on the field that the Angels refuse to do it. And hopefully things change with a new manager and hopefully a new regime. But the ownership's there, so that's a story for another day. But with the Ducks, you have a good mindset right now of what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, and how they want to attack this certain team tonight versus a team they played just last night, the Golden Knights. They had a little bit of different game plan versus Winnipeg. And it's just, in watching most hockey teams that we know of that can be elite, like say, for instance, Pittsburgh in its heyday, Chicago in its heyday, other teams like that you would see them back to back and you'd be like, okay, this is a veteran laced team. I know what I'm going to get with them the first night, and they're probably going to bring it again the second night. With the Ducks being so young and this being their first back to back so far, and the fact that, okay, they're on a win streak, nobody would have faulted them if they got beat tonight 4-1. I think everyone would be like, okay, they've been hot. They deserve to get, to be hot. But if they take a loss and get knocked down a peg, it's not that bad, because you don't want to feel too invincible, number one. And number two, you would expect that. Maybe they're tired. They gave out a lot of energy in that Golden Knights game. So you're figuring, okay, if they do lose tonight, it's all right. If they pick up a tie in overtime or a overtime, I'm sorry, tie in overtime loss, then hey, it's all right, But the fact you come out after a hard fought game, nearly blow it, but make up for it and win in a hostile environment that you never win in Las Vegas, come back home less than 24 hours later to play another physical team, fresh off 2 nights off their last game, well rested, got to scout you the night before, and you make them look like they're the ones who played the night before. You made it look easy after the second period. I mean, to me, this is my first time seeing Winnipeg this season. And all I heard was, hey, they can score. They play pretty good defense, but they should be a better team than the Ducks, even though the Ducks are off to a hot start. Winnipeg's going to give the Ducks all kinds of trouble. And I didn't see it tonight. I saw the Ducks neutralize just about every odd man rush they had. I saw Dostal be very good in net. And then I did realize, Dostal doesn't have that many shots against him tonight. Like, he's not getting attacked. He's not having to stand on his head like he did the other nights. I mean, they literally shut the Jets down, and I think they, oddly to say, frustrated them. And I say that only because of seeing so much Ducks hockey over the last couple of years. Prior to this season, they never really enforced their will upon the opponent, and they never really frustrated the other team. It was rare when they would frustrate and take a team out of their comfort zone. And you could tell Winnipeg was not comfortable all night. I mean, it took their star player to the third period to get a shot on goal. And going in, I think, to the third period, they only had like 15 shots. I mean, the Ducks didn't have that many either. They were always like 2 or 3 behind the Jets all night. But it seemed like when the Ducks had to put one on net, it was a quality shot, man. I'm telling you, what's not to like with this Ducks team? Really, what's not to like about this team? And even later in the game, when the game was pretty much decided, and Coach Q's kind of upset because there was a delay of game call, and I love just him staring down the refs. And then and then when they looked at him and made the call, he got on camera. He was just like horse shit. I love that about him. Behind closed doors, he's a likable guy. He's a well respected coach. But on the bench and during game time, he'll joke with the guys beyond that. But when the puck is on the ice and they're actually playing, they're actually skating. Dude is no nonsense, and he demands respect. And that's something that Ducks coaches and we haven't had here in a while. So to have this dude here coaching the Ducks, man, I mean, again, some people are saying slow your roll. It's the honeymoon part of the season, or it's the honeymoon part of the coaching staff along with the fans. And fans at some point, will jump on him and get upset with him. That's just how it goes. It's absolutely true. But right now, Homeboy's riding a wave that hasn't crashed yet. I mean, the wave is just steadily just getting higher and higher. And we're just cheering him on, dude. Like Coach Q's surfing the top of that breaker. It hasn't broke yet. And so he's excited. We're excited. This is good freaking hockey. I mean, if you're not a hockey fan and you're just watching casual, now's the time to get into it. Follow it, learn the rules. Like the best way I did back in the day, way back in the day, I played it on video games. Because when you're playing like a video game, you learn turn all the penalties on, turn all the face-offs, the icings, all that stuff on, and you'll pick it up real fast. So you'll learn the video game, and that's how I did. And then like, oh, okay, that's why it's an icing. That's why it's an offsides. And you learn it, right? And that's how I learned it. And maybe you're different. You can go to freaking the game and pick it up on your own, or you could follow on television. Either way, you got to do it. It's fun. And especially if you don't have a football team in the race, or you're not a football fan, you're not really an NBA fan, hockey is a good thing to get you back into baseball season. It pretty much takes you up until baseball season starts. So, man, oh man, great time to be a Ducks fan. And so I'm going to get into some of these comments and see what we got on Instagram. I think just a lot of people just chiming in, saying that they're happy. We do have, let's see, Eddie says up 3-1, and I knew they needed to score more. This team should not settle at all. But Eddie, the way that they are playing, the old Ducks would just sit on the puck, pass it in, dump it in, do shift changes, try to stay focused on playing defense, and that would lead to odd man rushes, or that would lead to goals being scored because the Ducks weren't being aggressive and the other team was gaining confidence. This way, the Ducks keep pushing. I mean, they still, with about 4 or 5 minutes, were going into the Jets zone, still trying to set up shots, and it looked like they were on the power play. But man, the Ducks did a great job tonight. Coop, the troop, says hopefully we get some playoff vibes soon. And Anaheim, I think the crowds will start getting bigger again. Winning cures everything, and winning will bring out the imagination of the fans. They're going to get more into it. Demetrio says over here on YouTube, Ian Moore, that guy is solid on defense. He had a real good night tonight. Let me see if I could chalk up his stats here real quick, and I'll get back into the comments. Just want to jump that up because a lot of these guys had shots, good hits. A lot of the time distribution was great tonight too. Let's see, where is he? Connor, no, you're like Ian Moore. Where is that dude? Where is that dude? For some reason, it's not pulling up the stats right here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so he had 2 shots on goal tonight, 2 block shots. He had 1 hit. He played pretty good, 23 minutes. He was poke checking the puck away. He did have a fantastic night. I thought he had more stats. That's why I was looking that up. Let me get back over here, jump into more of these comments. I'll get back over. Also, Score A says, Todd, you think that Trout retires an Angel at this point? Yeah, there's no way that contract's being moved, man. But hopefully, who knows? There's all kinds of rumors, but I have to see it to believe it. Grillmaster says, spritz o'clock, and we won again. Also, you get what you get when you put it into it. Lodge right there. Dan Rio says Ducks win, Chargers win, Rams win. Great day. LA Sports, yeah, pretty good night tonight. Andrew says we are fucking unstoppable. M Dog says, can we start having a conversation that Carlson is better than Bedard? Got to see a little bit more of the resume from Carlson. He's got to keep this scoring up, which is going to be hard to do. We all know, just like the Ducks win streak, they're going to hit a spot where they kind of hit a lull, and that's fine because ebbs and flows happen in the season, whether it's just by a player and his stats and what he does, or it's the team itself. I think the team will hit some ebbs and flows, but that's fine. It's how you recover from like a 2 or 3 game non-scoring streak. You know what I mean? If the Ducks were to have 3 games in a row where they pick up losses, no overtime loss, no 2 points, and there's just without points, yeah, just pick yourself back up. Let's get it going again. It's how they recover from those that you could determine if this team's going to be playoff caliber or not. Now, on the pace they're going, obviously they are, but we've seen things happen. So you got to temper your emotions. You got to be happy, and let's just take it one game at a time. This team is red freaking hot, and let's enjoy the damn ride. I do think Carlson, by the end of the year, if he's upwards to 90 to 100 points on the season, then by far he's got to be a top 10 player in this league. He's got to be. Tyler says winning back-to-back against perennial playoff teams and dominating the second game, that is insane. Yeah, I did not think that was possible tonight. Jets lose a peg tonight. Grillmaster, to quote Trent Rush, says, we're so back. Also, Tyler Mugg says, Ducks helping me forget the shambles that the Halos are in. Yeah, you know what? Right now, unless you're following the court case and the audit upcoming, it's pretty much good to just be like, la, 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 Ducks. And try to focus in on the Ducks because right now they're playing great. And yeah, I mean, listen, if you start like focusing on the Angels, you're going to get frustrated. I know I am. And I try to just let it, when I see these stupid, I see these things saying, oh, Scooble could be traded to the Angels. Oh, they're looking at Japanese superstar, Korean superstar. Oh, this free agent, Pete Alonso. Shut up. How many years have we been told that the Angels are going to get this guy, that guy, that guy, this guy, and they get nobody? And then we see these articles, Artie's tired of losing. Well, again, I got to see things happen first. I got to see him somehow survive the Skaggs case, somehow survive the audit, and then we'll go from there because I just don't believe it. I believe more in the Ducks right now. Yes, Noble L is still free to park at. El Caneno says Ducks 23 points, differential 17, and Avalanche 23, differential 21. My God, they're up there. They're up there. Grillmaster loves Kreider. Youngsters looking like vets. Man, they have turned the page. Demetrio says Ducks doing all the damage before McTavish gets hot. And that's a thing that people forget. McTavish was supposed to be our superstar. Leo Carlson was supposed to be his sidekick, his Robin, and other players, right? Kreider maybe. But we're seeing all these other guys rack up the points, and the points are just being spread out and to a lot of players. And we're seeing the best of all sides of this hockey team. Rally Chris, Cannell says Carlson's a baller. How sad the Ducks are going to make it back to the playoffs before the Angels. Yeah, but it's not really sad because the Ducks have a playoff streak of 7 years compared to the Angels now 11. It's more sad the Angels are on the outside. Blue Snake Jake says this 7-game streak is amazing. Our toughest game is going to be on Tuesday of this gauntlet. I wouldn't even get mad if they lose, but it's going to be a hell of a game. Yeah, again, we've got a difficult schedule upcoming here. Well, we talked about it earlier, and we'll get back into it real quick because our next game is against the Avalanche. And the Avalanche have only one loss, I believe, on the season. So, yeah, and that's at Colorado, a place that, and a team that has won the Stanley Cup and not so distant past. So that will, listen, if you want to talk about how did the Ducks compare to the best in the league, forget all the other games prior to this back-to-back. Well, they measured up pretty good against a goddamn good Golden Knights team, right? So you get an A for effort in that game. And maybe an A- because they gave up the 2 goals, even a B if you want to be that critical, right? I think tonight against Winnipeg, you got an A plus. You just beat the hell out of them. You took them out of their game. You own the game. For once, they dictated how the hockey game was going to go. So, with that being said, though, now you go from the elite to the cream of the crop, and Colorado can beat you every which way. But then again, can't you say that about our Ducks? Can't you say that the first line can beat you, the second line can beat you, the third line can beat you, the momentum shifter that kind of put the game back in the balance checking line that's supposed to be passive or just try to get things back in order. They're not really asked of too much of. They can beat you. And then you get some good goaltending as well. I mean, this is going to be a hell of a matchup. I totally agree with Blue Snake. It's going to be a good matchup coming up Tuesday. Blue Snake also says defense needs to be better. However, there are mistakes that need to be tightened up overall to make a huge improvement from time, but it is a huge improvement from times past. Absolutely. Also have 5 Atlanta as well, or 5 overtime losses they have, Colorado. I said Atlanta, my bad. Still haven't even got Gudas or Strom back yet. Yeah, there's 2 players still not in the fold, and they're still playing this good. Need a Kreider jersey. I need to give me a Carlson. Blue Snake says, yeah, the big D men are out there still performing. Demetrio agrees with Blue Snake, but I don't know if Coach Q has it in him to tell the defenseman to stop joining the rush or activating. They are very aggressive. And I love the fact that you got to keep accountable, because it's like what me and Dominic said last night in the postgame show, where as years passed, the defensemen would be glued to the blue line. You know, they would be barely in the zone, trying to just keep the puck in there, letting the right winger, the left winger, and the center make the plays down low. And then maybe they would have chip in with a pass, maybe a wrist shot on net. Nothing really spectacular. But now you're getting guys like Terry down right in front of the goalie, giving a give and go pass to Carlson, or just, I mean, you're just getting a lot more creativity. And I think it's throwing a lot of these hockey clubs off because they're just not used to this. Grillmaster says we can't fly the zone early like we did at Vegas versus Colorado. Colorado is just like Vegas. They will exploit that flaw. We'll see. Give our team a little bit of credit, especially the way they're playing. Brett says this is starting to get fucking crazy, guys. At times, I can't believe what I'm watching. Just a shit-eating grind all third period. Yeah, I mean, well, I think he means like they're just putting it on him, dude. Like they're not letting up. Whereas we talked about earlier, they would just dump the puck in, try to kill time, do shift changes. Nothing really too spectacular. Maybe take one long wrist shot or slap shot from the blue line, and that's it. Now they're just like, hey, we need more goals. We need to score more goals. I'm all for it. Jacob Primrose says Artie should take notes if he wants to see how an owner is supposed to invest in the product. Not only into the product, Jacob, you're 100% right, but into the community. All those things that I said 2 or 3 years on the Angels post games where I said, hey, you need to go to Santa Ana. You need to go to these cities that the kids don't get to make the Angel games as much. Give away free tickets, family 4-packs to their family. Give away shirts. Make new fans. Go to elementary schools. Do the things, help out in the community. Donate to those, do the hunger drives. And they've done some things of late, like last year, donating the baseball field to special needs. My daughter's special needs, so we were there. But compare what Artie has done, nickel and diming, to what the Samuelis have done. They have multiple foundations they donate to. They built the OC vibe on their own dime. They pretty much reconstructed the Ducks in their identity and said, look, we are OC. We are you. We represent you. San Bernardino, Newport, Anaheim, Santa Ana. We are you. Come see us because we are you. We play for you. We don't say that we play in Anaheim, but we play for Los Angeles. That is not you. So you could pretty much see, Jacob, whatever Artie has done wrong, the Samuelis have done right. And if Artie wasn't such a dumbass, along with all his cronies, they would look at the Ducks and say, we need to be more like them. And then maybe with Carpino would get off his knees and change things. Um, Also, Blue Snake says, "No, I still think the D is pushing. Yeah, it is led to some long shot passes by the opponent, but our offense with the D pressure is super good right now. And it is. It is good. And then Grillmaster comes off with a bad puns. Ducks grounded the Jets. They couldn't take off. Hilarious. Blue Snake says, I don't think Q will tell them to back off at least too much. Demetro says, hope so. I want to see them stay hot at home just a little more for peace of mind. Also, Jesus, my boy, checks in saying, Todd Fox, are you going to cover the Tyler Skaggs court case? From afar, I'll sum it up when it's done. It's kind of hard to do it day by day. Also, good night, Todd Fox, and let's go Anahiem Ducks. Good night as well, Jesus. Dan says we were supposed to lose to the Knights. How did that work out? We didn't. That's the best part. Joshua says the power play is clicking as well. Again, more differences from last year, fellas. This team couldn't kill a penalty because they were getting in their own way. And then we couldn't get power plays. And when we did, we gave one right back with a stupid penalty. And then we were very highly ineffective on the power play. Now it just seems the passes are crisp, point blank, on the money, and guys know where guys are going to be once they break the blue line. It's beautiful. It is beautiful to see. I don't think I've seen this many behind the back passes that are right on the money to a skating player headed towards the net than any other season that I've watched. And that's just through 15 games. So I'm loving it, man. I am loving the way that they're playing. If you don't know hockey, because I don't profess myself to be the most knowledgeable hockey fan out there or have been watching hockey 100% for the last 20 years. I watched it as much as I possibly could via work or whatever. I missed some bit. You know that just like with our Angels, when they get into August and September, they're a hard watch. You get busy with family and friends or work, and then certain sacrifices you'd make for that team, if they're not in contention, you don't watch. I watched a lot of last year's hockey, a lot of the year before last, the year before that, and I can remember a time when this team was great with Ruchin, Solani, Correa, and Jaguar, and all these players, dude, that don the Ducks uniforms, and Getzlaff and all these guys, man. But the thing is, those days had been gone for a while. We haven't had Corey Perry in a while, and for this team to be just reconstructed and just now, not the hope of being good, but now I think the hope of having our window open for possible Stanley Cup in a few years because of all these young kids growing together, the coaching staff in place, a calm, collected, freaking organization now with a plan. And you can now tell that this team is ready to win and they're ahead of schedule. And it's fun to watch, man. Fun to watch. George says, great show. Great to see the Ducks, Sharks, and Blackhawks playing winning hockey. Hope all three make the playoffs. George from Chicago. Kudos to you, George, for being on the show. And man, love it. We hope the Chicago Blackhawks come back. I love that logo. I've been to the United Center. You walk in there, you see, I think there's a Stanley Makita. I think that's his name. Statue out there. Then you got freaking Jordan, obviously. And then it's a very good vibe in Chicago for hockey, just like it is basketball. It's a great arena, even though it's older. It's just like the Honda Center. I think it maybe a little bit older than the Honda Center. I think it is, but still, for Chicago to be good, for hockey to be good, I think you need the Rangers to be good. You need the Blackhawks. A lot of the original six need to be good. And Chicago has been done for the last few years. Really, really bad hockey team. But they had their Stanley Cup run too. But now they're coming back too. And in San Jose, as much as they are a small market, and you wouldn't figure of years ago that San Jose needed a team, but they've done really good representing. It's a great atmosphere as well when they play the Jaws music when they're on the power play, and they get up for their team. But their team has been asked, but hey, they're getting better too, and it would be great to have them back as well. So it could be a change of the guard. That's the thing we talked about too with hockey. You got the salary cap, you got the salary floor, and it's much more competitive, a competitive balance. You're not in the dumps all that long unless you're not doing something right. You have every opportunity to turn your franchise around. So that's the good thing about the NHL. Demetrio says, I love how fast we set up the power play this year. It's top notch. Yeah, there is a good rush because you could see where the puck gets turned over, maybe when it gets poked out, and automatically the forwards go to the back behind the goalie, or they do a shift change. Someone has the puck around the red line, center ice, and then they go back to our blue line, kind of turn around, reset. Then you got three Ducks behind that player. He'll dump it off to put a body on the guy who checks him in the beginning at center ice. And then they just get the pass going to whoever's going to penetrate that blue line first. And then the offense sets up with a play. And you think it's better for the defense to have a team come in there like that to where you could see how they're setting up, but it's not. You kind of want to put a body on them as they're crossing the blue line, but so many times the Ducks get across that blue line, are able to get deep into the zone, the opponent, and set a play up or have someone crash towards a net or two people crash towards a net, and it causes all kinds of problems, man. So, yeah, this team is really, really fun to see, and this is definitely a different look. Canelo says, feels great to finally see some winning hockey. Let's go Ducks. Hell yeah. So with that being said, let me give you my 3 stars of the game. Well, I'm gonna go with number 1 star of the game. I would go with a goalie right here when you win 4-1, but he didn't really take too many shots. So I'm gonna pass it off to our leading scorer tonight. That's Leo Carlson, the team leader, man, as he came through with his 9th and 10th goals of the season, both on the power play to help the Ducks and that awesome power play that's continuing to get better. He's the number 1 star of the game. Number 2 star of the game, I'm going to go with Beckett Seneca. He gets his 5th and 6th goals. He loves to push, and for a 19-year-old to look like he has a 31-year-old's body as far as physicality, and he's able to bang with these guys down there and look like a crafty veteran, and he does some things to frustrate the opponents, which is not on the scoreboard, but it's awesome. And the way he pokes it, pucks, gets it out of there, helps stop rushes, helps stop the team from setting up in the Duck zone. That's the unsung stuff that's not in the box score. That's the stuff that you're like, oh damn. If you're watching the game, you're like, man, he came through again right there. He stopped another rush right there. He stopped a power play. He poked the puck out. He put a body on the guy. So he did a lot of the stuff that usually defensemen or your bruisers have been doing, or your big captains or centers. He's been knocking it out by himself. He's been a little of everything. And for a guy who's only 19 years old and he's doing what he's doing, it's like, dude, the ceiling is so high for him. So he had 2 goals. He's my number 2 star. And then I'm gonna give it to Dostal as a 3rd star because again, he may not have faced that many shots, 24, but he made it look goddamn easy tonight. I didn't see anything where it was like, oh my God, if the puck was a little bit here or there, it would have got through because he left the right side or the stick side wide open. They got lucky there. No, I mean, for the most part, whatever came to him, he handled it. Again, they had to work for their goal. It looked like the Ducks just made it easy. Dostal was just like it was like for a guy to get 23 out of 24 saves. I can say this with all confidence. It felt like a ho-hum kind of performance because of what he's had to face. So like, say, for instance, just a couple nights before, he was all over the place. But dude, I mean, he's only going to get better. And again, as the defense tightens up, as you guys have been saying in the comments, it's going to turn into a very good season, and they're just going to get better, and they're going to continue to gain confidence. And that's the best thing you can have for a rebuilding franchise or a team that's trying to rebuild or restart or find their identity. I think this team is already starting to find their identity and their confidence at the same time. And so far, the rest of the league is like, damn, that's dangerous. Because if this team continues to build the confidence, continue to get that, okay, we're down, but we're not out attitude. I mean, we're going to see some more dramatic hockey because there's going to be some times where the Ducks will fall behind. And then you're going to think, okay, years past, they've been down 2-3 goals, and watch, they're going to come back because we've already seen it like twice. Down 2-0 to start a game, should be over. Ducks usually just, waddle away like a duck. But no, they just keep fighting. They keep putting pressure, and then good things happen. Stick to the game plan. Keep that confidence going. Fight for your guy, your teammate. Yeah, the camaraderie, the culture is here. I love it. There's so much positivity with the Ducks. Couple more comments right here. Coopster says, thanks for doing a post-game show for the Ducks, man. Much appreciated. Hey, tell your friends, man, we just started. We want to get this thing big enough like the Angels post-game show to where we can give away cool things like hats. Like this is the Halos in the Infield one, but I want to give away ones that have Ducks related logos. We're coming up with designs, especially that Ducks game day breakdown on the top right corner. Maybe those will be hats or shirts that we give away. So yeah, tell a friend, get some more subscribers. That way it helps the show. Like or share. That's how you always hear when you're watching a YouTube page. It does help, man. The algorithms will go in our favor if you guys share, like, and talk about it on social media. Just even saying, hey man, here's a link to the podcast or the post game show, because we will be, and we have been doing a once a week podcast about the Ducks. I just did a podcast with Kyle from Locked On Ducks. He does a weekly podcast over there on the Locked On side. Uh, he's really nice guy, huge Angels fan, huge Ducks fan. He goes way back, and he's military. He's a Marine. So guy is awesome to listen to. But we're gonna be cross promoting. We're gonna be on his show as well. So look for that. But we already had him on an episode. He was giving you the breakdowns and his players to watch in the upcoming game. So it was a good podcast. So if you're looking to listen to another Ducks, some more Ducks content, if you couldn't get enough of this show, and why would you? You could check out our other episodes, because again, we just got started, but we've been starting since this season, and we want to get a good fan base, and we know that if we put out a good product, you guys and gals will enjoy, and we would love to see you at the hockey games here coming up too, because we will be having on the 22nd a watch party, and we'll definitely try to have some giveaways for that. We're going to incorporate some other Ducks pages to make this more of a community, and it should be fun. So again, everyone, thank you so much for being a part of tonight's show. The Ducks fly together, so do the fans. Ducks get a win tonight and improve to their 7-game win streak. Again, franchise record is 11 in a row. That was 2015, 2016. So we're looking to hopefully tie that, and we'll see what happens. But one game at a time. We'll see you back, I guess, on the post-game show on Tuesday. We will be doing a football show prior to the Ducks game finishing, and then we will have the post-game show directly after that, because we do have a NFL pick'em show and recap of the NFL. But after that's over, we get right into Ducks hockey. So we'll see you Tuesday. Enjoy your Monday, even though it's back to work for most of us. Have a good night, everybody. The Ducks win. Ducks win.